Hey everybody, I hope you enjoy this upcoming episode of House of Asher. I was going to mention, as always, our shows are sponsored by Allers Oddities, Paducah. My good buddy Doug Aller makes all kinds of creepy stuff. Freaky Mask is always available for events, and you can find him on Facebook. Also, Posh Embroidery in Princeton, who takes care of all my t-shirts and merch and keychains and mugs and all that other plethora of wonderful crap that I like to sell, and people can have keepsakes and stuff from the Hauntings Of series and the House of Asher show. We have a new sponsor that I want to tell you just really quickly is Jonah Smith, who puts out like these really killer like beard oils and body butters for the ladies and stuff. And it's the Dare to Dream line, and she's going to be having her stuff down at Posh Embroidery, and she makes all kinds of other crazy crafts and dream catchers and all kinds of different scents and room sprays. Check it out at Posh Embroidery in Princeton, and I hope you enjoy the show.
I want you to think back to the first time you ever remember being truly afraid. What was it? Does it stick with you today? This is the sort of thing that we talk about on the House of Asher. Won't you join us? House of Asher, a clearinghouse for the mind. Hey everybody, welcome back to House of Asher. I'm your host, Stevie Asher. This is episode 18, and I am dressed in my best Western Kentucky laid back, kind of hanging out on the bank of the water, casting for fish and whatnot look. Two reasons. I'm telling you a local story that you've never heard. I've never really put this in a book or anything like this. This is an exclusive. Also, it's hot as blue blazes, so I've got the windows open here in my office, letting a little air in, so bear with me. As I said, this is episode 18, and what I want to talk to you about, I know a lot of you guys probably watch stuff like American Horror Story and all that, and have seen stories about pigmen. Talking everything from feral hog stories, werepigs, war pigs, and all the things that fall in between. Well, the story I'm telling you all happened back in the late 60s. And this is in the 1960s. Well, this happened here in Caldwell. And as I understand, the story goes is this. There was a girl that was working for a guy. It was down in the Baileyville area. Anybody that's older folks might know of this area. I don't want to give an exact location because people living there now don't want people driving into their back fields and poking around and whatnot. Well, anyway, there was a girl, a fairly younger girl that was working for an older guy, and she was, taking care of the house. And in time, his demands became more than, she was definitely taking care of the house, and kind of convinced this girl to do some stuff that she didn't want to do, but, by God, family needed money, and she's trying to make it and whatnot. She had a small boy, and she was alone, and she was trying to care for this kid. Alright, so anyway, one thing led to another. The young girl became pregnant. Well, as I understand, the girl wasn't with anybody, and as she started to show, she come to the older gentleman who owned quite a bit of land in Baileyville. I won't use any names. And said, look, I'm pregnant and the baby's yours. Well, in classic, outstanding stepping up to the plate kind of guy moves, he said, ain't mine. It's not mine. And she said, I've not been with anybody else. Yeah, it's yours. Well, he kind of pushed her away, this and that. Wouldn't let her work for him anymore. Anyway, as time got closer, she would keep coming back to him, saying, "Look, let's do something. I'm not gonna give up this baby." I think the guy even offered to try to find her an abortionist. There used to be some abortionists in this area before legalized abortion, and I've got a whole other story about that, which will freaking kill you. It will just kill your heart. But so anyway, this girl said, "No way, I'm not killing a baby. That's not how I was raised." So he said, "Well, look, if you're just damn determined to have this kid, get with me. I want to see this baby. I mean, if the baby looks like me, then I'll do right by it, and I will take care of it to its till its last days, or whatever, to my last days." Okay, well, she kind of calmed down. I think he might have kicked her a few bucks to kind of get her through some of the, just some of the stuff you need, to prep for a baby, So anyway, the time come, and she lived in the area of Baileyville. So a midwife came back. Back in these times, not everybody could run to the hospital. Not everybody had the money to go to the hospital. So a local midwife was there, and she went into labor. Everything seemed okay. Baby came through. Kid seemed pretty healthy by all standards. 2 eyes, 10 fingers and toes, whatnot. In the classic normal. And so of course it was extremely hard labor for the girl. She almost had to go through a C-section. Anyway, she was just out of it, man. The midwife, I'm sure, gave her something, to help her deal with the pain, and so she was really in and out of it. You pop out a baby, let's see you go, run a marathon. So anyway, she's laying there half in and out of it, and the midwife is doing some stuff. So here comes the guy, the old man, and he said, "I want to see the baby." And she said, "Are you going to do right?" And he said, "If this baby looks like me, and I know it's my kid, I will care for it to its final days, or to mine." So anyway, she's half in and out of it. The midwife, lets him hold the baby because the mom says it's fine. Well, she steps out to get new rags to wipe the girl down with, and dump all the goop and whatnot that comes from a pregnancy. Well, the guy is stunned. It looks just like him. It's bright little baby, beautiful little child, but looks just like him. He can't deny this. He knows he's screwed, and this is going to cause a hailstorm of controversy and this and that. He's kind of an upstanding guy. He's a sort of a power player in this area back in the day. So she nods out while the midwife is doing her thing in another room. It's sort of a shotgun shack, and people that aren't familiar, that means basically you open the front door, you can see the back door, and it's more or less a straight shot. So he picks up the baby in its little swaddling clothes, walks through the back door, down to 2 or 3 little wooden steps, past a little burn pile, walks out probably 25 to 35 feet out to the right, and he's just walking with the baby. And now this next part's pretty grim, so if you don't want to hear something that's going to screw with you, then tune out. 3, 2, 1. Okay, cue the nightmares. He walks down by the little farm. He takes a little wrapping cloth off the little baby. It's sitting there, butt naked little kid had just come out. He walks down by the troughs and whatnot, close to the farms. Gets the baby by its back, by its legs, whips it, cracks its head open on a post, and tosses it into a hog pen. And hogs do what hogs do. They eat what they're given, and they devour this baby. I don't know how many people know this, but if you have several hungry, full-grown hogs, they can eat a man in minutes. So that baby was gone like that. And the thing was, excuse me, the thing was that this little boy witnessed all this, and because he was out playing along the creek that runs down from Cedar Hill Cemetery, which is maybe 200 feet from there, he sees all this. Thank God the old man didn't see him, or he probably would be dead today too. Well, as I understand, the mother had to be committed due to this, and there was supposedly several witnesses that saw this happen, but back in those days, the powerful did what they wanted to, and there was very little repercussion. I know that I've had this story substantiated by friends and family that were alive at the time, and nobody ever knew what happened to the little boy. Well, legend says the little boy went insane. He went mad, and he ran off into the woods because, a lot of times, country kids kind of know how to survive. This kid was maybe 9 or 10, and big enough that he could kind of set some traps and catch and fish and whatnot. Well, he ended up supposedly coming back and slaughtering all those pigs because the old man didn't live real long, thank God. And he went on and died, so he couldn't get his revenge on him, but he could take it out on those hogs. Well, he progressed. He really couldn't communicate, and all above squeals and squeaks like a sow or whatever. And some people said that after he killed the animals, he would take the skins or take the heads or whatever, or make sort of like a dead skin mask out of the hogs, and he would wander the woods. Some people have even said that the areas in behind Cedar Hill Cemetery, you can still hear hogs, and you can still hear that boy squealing. Some people have even said that in time he traveled down into the Land Between the Lakes area, which is not far from here. It's got a lot of stories of, dogmen, Bigfoot, supposed were creatures, reptilians, and some people have made mentions of the pig man. I cannot substantiate that this is a factual creature, but I know from reliable sources that this murderous event did happen, and no one was ever brought to justice, and there was no evidence. And it's one of these small town let sleeping dogs lie type deal. To me, it's really disturbing. It's not a story I talk about a lot because it bothers me, and not much. I don't want to say not much bothers me. I'm not so jaded. Obviously, I have humanity, but you watch a lot of scary stuff. You get desensitized to horror and stuff. But especially when it comes to children, it freaking kills me. But the West Kentucky hog man, pig man, what do you want to call it? It has been around for a while, and what I have come to call it, the Cedar Hill hog boy, is a story that's kind of planked around in my family since before I was born, and I just wanted to give it to you guys, and I'm curious what you think about it. I don't know, maybe if somebody here that's local has heard the story or heard remnants of this, or because that's usually how it is. You get some people maybe overhear a story or catch up a story or whatever, and they get bits and pieces of it. I want to get like the full story. Maybe you know more about it. Maybe you know more about the individual who supposedly killed this baby and knows more about the details of it. Is this the only time he's done this, or has this been a systematic thing? Has he had that type of situation where he got someone pregnant and he took it out on the child? Just a nightmare person. You can't make movies that are as horrific as reality. So again, dark chapter, dark little story for our town. There's a lot of good stuff here, but there's also some nightmares, just like everywhere else. So that's the story of the Cedar Hill hog boy. and I want to hear your opinions on it. What you think about it? If you want to hear more about it, if I find out more about it, would you like to hear about it? And in time, I can, if I clear it with the people who own the property, I can let you know where it's at, but I don't want to do that until they give me permission, because I wouldn't want a bunch of people running up through my property and doing this and that, and it's, you know, still a sore subject for people. There's people still alive connected to that. I know a guy that works at a local restaurant that his it was like a cousin to that lady, and he verifies it. It's a hellish story. But as we come to a close on this story, thank God, because it was hard. It was hard for me to get through it. I want you guys to go out and enjoy the day. It's a beautiful Sunday. You know, the clouds are just right to block too much sun. You can enjoy it, but not probably get a sunburn. Go out, have you a nice picnic, enjoy your family, enjoy your life, run with your dog, go play some hacky sack, whatever. But as night closes in and the shadows grow long, I want you to make sure to check your locks, check your windows, check your closet and under your bed, maybe peek out your bedroom window, just to make sure that old pig boy's not out there rooting around in your garbage or in your yard, or maybe looking for some new skins to make a mask out of. So until next time, I want you guys to love one another and stay scared.